Let's just verify that real quick. ¿Qué haces los lunes? Los lunes yo trabajar, escuchar música, me gusta veo Netflix. Oye, ¿qué es lo que mi gente? Yo soy Ricky de Bilingüe Vlogs. Thanks for coming back to another video. I'm an online Spanish teacher besides having this YouTube channel here. That's what I do for work. And I want to give you guys 5 tips for learning Spanish with a teacher, with a tutor, with an app. Whatever you're going to do to learn Spanish, you need to follow these 5 tips. My students who are most successful apply these things, and the ones that don't learn that fast, they don't. They're still learning, they're just not learning as fast. And make sure you watch until the end of the video. Before I begin, I have to say I think that school has kind of tainted the way that people learn. People don't even know how to really learn with a teacher because they're so used to preparing for some standardized test or cramming for a school test. When you're learning with a Spanish tutor or a teacher, it's not school. You are not doing this for a grade, and you have to apply what I'm teaching you here today. So step number 1 for learning a language effectively with a teacher or a tutor would be, you gotta kind of be obsessed with the language. You don't have to be like crazy obsessed. I mean, you could be. I was low-key obsessed with learning Spanish. I know that obsession has a bad connotation, but when you're learning a language, you really want to be involved. You want to know how to do everything in that language because you can do everything in that language. Language literally follows us in every aspect of life. We can talk about anything that we do. Why not learn all the things that you have in your house? Why not learn the vocabulary for all the places that you visit, and the vocabulary for things that interest you and things that interest your loved ones and your friends and family? For me, it was just really fun. I always found myself studying Spanish at all times. If I had some free time, I was studying Spanish, but that's what got me to the level that I'm at now. People think it's like a shortcut thing, or, oh, you're just good at learning languages, when low-key, all I did was really obsess over the language. I immersed myself in the language, which I have a video talking about the 9 steps that I did to do that, but you're gonna want to do that as well. You don't have to do exactly what I did, but really make Spanish or whatever language you're learning a part of your life as much as possible, and you will see results. When your teacher gives you something to study, go at it, have fun, obsess with it. That's what's gonna really get you into fast learning, and it's gonna get you into effective learning because you're just hungry, you just want more. If you look for it, you're gonna find it, especially in today's world where we have all the apps and all the Google searches in the world. You're gonna find what you're looking for if you apply yourself to do that, okay? So that's step number 1. Step number 2 would be to do your homework. The word homework has left such a bad taste in our mouths. I don't call it homework. I just tell my students that it's practice activities because I don't want it to feel like school. I want it to feel like the furthest thing from school because, again, my goal here is not for them to reach some academic success and get an A in my course. I don't even assign grades. It's for them to practice it themselves. But many times when my students have homework, this is what happens. Joshua, ¿qué es lo que contigo? Dímelo. Hey, profe, ¿cómo estás? Yo estoy bien, gracias. Did you get a chance to work on the homework that I left you last time? I know it was a lot of stuff to do, but... You're gonna hate me? Oh man, you're gonna hate me. I'm so sorry. I didn't get to the homework. No, not this time around. Joshua, mira, escucha. First of all, I would never hate you. You're my student, I'm here to help you. Number 2, you don't have to apologize to me. I already speak Spanish, and I want to help you to be able to do the same thing. So that means that I give you homework, not as a punishment, but for something to help you put it all together in your head and apply that in your real life. So you're really not hurting me at all, but you're more so hurting your own education, your own growth by not doing the homework. Okay, you're right. Next time I gotcha. That's dope. I mean, next time I got me. Trust me, I got this. It's really funny because my students not doing homework does not hurt me in any way. I don't have a personal attachment to the homework. I have a personal attachment to the growth of my student. I want my students to grow, and I'm giving them a tool that will help them grow. But I think sometimes students can see it as a punishment or just another chore to do, when that's not really the case. Any homework that you have is to help you grow. It's to help you work it out in your head. A lot of stuff for me clicked when I started to write them down, or when I started to read about it in books, and also when I started to speak. So whether the homework is an auditory thing, where there's an oral thing where the teacher's asking you to go out and make conversation, which I don't know if teachers even do that, but I do that for my students. I try to get them to talk to people. Whether that's reading, whatever it is, you want to actually do that because it's going to help you tremendously. A lot of people rely on their teachers when it's really, the student that has to put in the work. The teacher already did the work. The teacher already knows the language. You don't. You want to get there, so follow the steps that the teacher is giving you. And that brings me to my next point. Don't get ahead of yourself. This is mainly for verb tenses. This has happened to me so many times. Oye, Eric, ¿qué es lo que como tú estás? Hola, profe, estoy bien, ¿y tú? Todo bien por aquí, muy bien, muy bien. Okay, so I want to start this right away. We don't have a lot of time today. So, did you study the present tense like we talked about last time? You know what? Yo sé, el último tiempo, we studied the present tense, and I felt like it was very easy, too easy. So I went ahead and studied the preterite, the imperfect, and the subjunctive, but I'm actually very confused. No entender. Oh, the preterite and the imperfect and the subjunctive. Okay, interesting. Those are typically reserved for, intermediate, advanced students. Pero, como tú dices, you're good with the present tense now. So let's just verify that real quick. ¿Qué haces los lunes? Los lunes, yo trabajar, escuchar música, me gusta veo Netflix. And cosas como eso. Está bien, está bien. I could understand you, but none of that was correct, and this is why I wanted you to practice on the present tense and not the past tense or the subjunctive yet. We'll get there in time, but we want to get better at the present tense. Wait, I got none of that right? This is crazy to me because it's like your teacher has a blueprint for you. They have a guide for you. They know where you are. They know where you're going to go. So why not trust them with that process? I know that it's hard to not bite off more than you can chew. I know that everybody wants to know everything today, but language is not like that. Unfortunately, language doesn't work like that. I don't think that it ever will work like that. If your teacher tells you to work on the present tense, go crazy. Remember I told you you gotta be obsessed with this? Obsessed with the present tense. Learn everything you can about the present tense. Learn about stem changers, learn about reflexives, learn about the commands. All those things are still a part of present tense. You can even learn about I call it the shortcut to the future tense, where you take the verb ir plus a plus the infinitive, talk about what somebody is going to do. That's a shortcut to the future tense. But guess what? It's still present tense, so it still counts. If you want to get ahead, do it in that way. Or if you want to, let's say that the present tense is kind of stressing you out for now, don't jump to another tense. Instead, learn another part of grammar. Learn how to use the indirect and direct object pronouns. Learn how to make adverbs and things of that sort. Go hard on those things while still staying on task with what your teacher or your tutor is providing for you or is asking you to do, because they're going to guide you to success. You just really have to trust them, and they will not fail you. And you won't fail you if you do what you're supposed to do in that regard. Don't go too far ahead, okay? All right, so number 4 would be, you got to come to class with questions. So the last time, we talked, I told you I wanted you to come to class with questions. That shows me that you've been doing some work outside of class and that you're trying to go deeper. So what questions do you have for me to begin with? Last time we talked about the indirect and direct object pronouns, right? We did work on the direct and the indirect object pronouns. I don't have any questions. I did study it. I don't have any questions for this time around. Okay, since you have no questions, let's get started with application. So, me gusta esa camiseta que tienes. ¿Quién te la compró? Mi madre se lo comprármelo. You know what? That's actually something that I was wondering about as I studied this. But I just figured I would taking classes with you. You can just explain it all to me. I don't have to really ask questions. You'll just tell me and I'll get it, Let's be honest. This is not a 50-50 relationship. This is like an 80-20 relationship where you do 80% of the work. The teacher gives you that 20% that you need. They give you the tools. You have to really put in the work. And that means that you're gonna have to do a lot of studying and a lot of practice and a lot of repetition on your own, which means that you should have questions when you come to class, unless you just get it. If it clicks, okay, that's fine. But if there's something that you're doubting, that you're not sure about, and you don't bring that up as a question, through their email or like before the class starts, or when that next session starts and you want to start the class off with questions, then you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not giving it all that you can give it, and you're not going to see the results that you want to see. That's really important. So come to class with questions. Don't just rely 100% on your teacher to spoon feed you. Your teacher is not there to spoon feed you, they're there to guide you. Step number 5 for learning a language effectively with a tutor or teacher would be to apply what you learn in real life, in conversation. We can read all we want, we can write all we want, we can listen all we want. But if we're not going out there and speaking, isn't that why you learn the language in the first place? Or why you want to learn the language in the first place? Don't you want to communicate with others? Don't be afraid of looking like a fool. That's why kids are so good at learning languages. It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes because most likely you're going to be corrected. And if not, at least you have a memorable experience, but you have to go out and apply it because it's going to help you to get more confidence in yourself, more confidence in your skills. And it's going to help you to be a better Spanish speaker all the way around. If you have that opportunity at a restaurant, or if you have that opportunity in the grocery store, or just when you're out and about, if you're in a different country, take full advantage of it because that's where you're going to see the maximum amount of growth. That's where you can really test your skills, you know? What you practice in your class with your tutor or with your teacher, you can put that into application and see that they do know what they're talking about, first of all. And also, you can see that, okay, I can do this, I can speak this language. The only way to get better at speaking is to speak. That's it for today's video. If you want to take Spanish lessons with me, I'm always accepting more students. Click the link in the description to sign up for sessions with me. If you found this video helpful, please share this like crazy. Give it a thumbs up. Comment down below with what you find effective as a student, you know, from your teacher. What's the best way that a teacher has helped you learn Spanish or whatever language you're learning? And also, subscribe to this channel. Hasta aquí el video de hoy, mi gente, y nos fuimos.